going on, guys? Just took a absolutely amazing rip on the Duke 890R. That's the new bike in the stable. The Busa is gone, but we got Mad Max, man. Look at it. Just look at it. Look at them wheels, man. Anyway, I'm actually going to a bike night tonight, the last one at Harley Davidson. So we're gonna stop over there. Got to get something done at the patch lady, get a patch sewn on. We're gonna spend a couple hours over there, but I gotta get Mad Max a little polished up. Rode through some rain, got a lot of bugs on her. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, like, how do you keep the bike so clean? And I'm gonna go over that. But first, I've already told you guys that anytime I work on my bike, anytime I clean my bike or oil change, whatever, I'm always putting the bike on my Let's Roll lift and dolly system. So I lift the bike up with the Let's Roll lift, and then I put the Let's Roll cruiser dolly underneath the bike. So this way the bike is straight up and down. As you guys can see, my bike is like really leaned over because I got the +2 suspension. Even though I have the +1 kickstand with the 1-inch block, the bike is still leaned over more than like a stock Harley would be leaned over. So it's like if I want to clean this side of the bike, especially this side, it's kind of leaning like really bad towards me, and it's kind of hard to get into places, kind of hard to see everything that's going on, you know what I mean? So it's so much easier to put it on this lift and dolly. And a lot of you guys sometimes tell me and comment to me, you know, why don't I use like a lift from like Harbor Freight? Well, I used to. Years ago, I used to do that. But the problem with that is, I mention it all the time, is if you put the lift underneath your bike, the scissor mechanism is still in the middle, and that's a huge problem because you can't do an oil change, you can't work on in, you know, underneath there, you can't put a pan underneath. I don't want to put my hand underneath through that scissor lift mechanism. God forbid, you know, the hydraulics goes, the bike's gonna come crashing down, and then you're gonna be in big trouble with your arms. So let me show you this Let's Roll lift and dolly system. I just love using it. It is just super easy, and it's actually like 2 into 1 because you have the lift. Like I could lift my bike, put the cruiser dolly underneath it, and then take the lift out and then go lift my son's bike up, you know, or use it for another bike. So what I do, I put the lift underneath the bike, and then I start ratcheting the lift up. I grab the front brake so the bike does not roll forward. And then as you guys can see, the bike is coming up now. And now the bike is fully on the lift, and I'm just going to keep ratcheting the lift up to the desired height. And then I'm gonna slide the Let's Roll cruiser dolly underneath through the other side. So now let's go to the other side. And now we're going to roll this underneath. I kind of like to get it centered, and then I'm going to lock this side, the caster wheel. Then I'm also going to lock this side, making sure that it's pretty centered on the frame. And then we could lowering the bike onto the dolly. So now what we do is we just slide the lift right out. So now the bike is up on the dolly. I can move it around wherever I want. I could spin it around. I could roll it back inside of the garage. And it is super easy to do because of the large caster rubber wheels. I've had previously those crappy Harbor Freight lifts with the small steel caster wheels, and I always had a problem rolling it over like the gaps in the pavers, in the driveway, or even the little tiny bump here, and it's really tiny, but it was nearly impossible to roll the bike and the lift over the pavers and that hump. But with this, it is so easy. You see how open it is underneath? If I wanted to change my oil now, I could just slide a pan underneath and get to all of the drain plugs, and there is absolutely nothing in my way. Now that I have the bike on the dolly, I could still use the lift, which I have done previously. Like I was working on my bike, and then like my son wanted me to lift his bike up because he wanted to change the oil on his bike. So it worked out well. Otherwise you need 2 lifts. So I like showed you guys before, like I even sat on the bike, I stood on the bike. Like you cannot tip this over if you tried. I weigh 205 pounds, especially when it's on the cruiser dolly because it's so, the platform is so wide both ways. It grabs basically like almost at the ends of the frame, which is fantastic. So it's stable, so you feel good about it. Like I had the bike on other lifts, other dollies, and they were just super cheesy, super flimsy, and I just didn't feel as confident as I ever did having my road glide on this dolly. And especially if you got a ton of money in your bike, you definitely want something secure. I got a small garage. You could flip like the bike around, just rotate it around right in the garage without having to open the garage door. Say if it's snowing outside and you don't want to put the bike outside, you could just flip it right around in the garage, or just, you know, if you winterize your bike, I don't, but if you winterize your bike, this is a great solution because it stands the bike straight up. It takes minimal amount of space, stands the bike straight up, put it in the corner, and it saves you a lot of space. So definitely check it out. But let's go over what I use. Let me go get some of the products. You guys are gonna be shocked. Honestly, you guys are gonna be shocked at what I use to clean my bike, because a lot of you guys have been asking me. That's probably the biggest question or the biggest recommendation to do a video on lately in the past couple months. But I'm sorry, but it's kind of funny to me because I really don't go crazy over my bike, like trying to keep it clean. I really don't, honestly. The only time I really wash my bike is like if I come back from a 1,000-mile trip, like from Maine or from Sturgis. I'll come back and wash it, of course, because it's absolutely filthy. But I won't, like sometimes I won't wash it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I'm not kidding, maybe sometimes even a month or two. If I'm not doing like super long trips, I won't wash it. I'll tell you why. Because if you're doing like these short trips, this is what I've been doing for a long time, for years. If you're doing like these short trips around home, 100, 200 miles, as soon as I come home, I don't wash it. I actually use this. This is from AMSOIL. This is a Miracle Wash. So it's a waterless wash and wax. That was a tongue twister. But that's what I use. And all I do is, like you guys could see, let me bring you guys closer. You guys could see like all of the bug juice, bug splatter, some rain spots on it, right? So all I do, and I'm not kidding, Glenn uses this stuff. A lot of the guys use this stuff and they swear by it. I swear by it. It's great stuff. It works really well. It takes all the bugs off, and I just basically wipe the bike down and try to rub off, obviously, all of the bug juice and stuff like that, and it does come off. I try not to let the bugs stay on there for too long, because you know how they are. It's like almost like they're glue. Like one just hit my helmet the other day, and I couldn't rub it off of my windshield for the life of me. It was literally like crazy glue. I have no idea what the hell kind of bug it was. But that's what I do. Like I just wipe the bike down with the Miracle Wash, right? I wipe it down. It's almost like a wax polish type of thing. I'll go over all the black and let that kind of sit right there. I'll go over the hand guards, back of the mirrors. Like I'll wipe every single thing down. I'm not gonna go over the whole bike right now with you guys. I don't want to waste your time. But that's what I do. I go over everything. I go over the black. I don't go over the chrome. I'm gonna show you what I do with the chrome. But everywhere, the black, the fender, the fairing, the windshield, handguards, the back of the mirrors, the tank, the bags, the panels, the fender, everything, I use the AMSOIL Miracle Wash, right? So now, check this out. On the windshield here, I use this Sprayway, where are you? Right here, Sprayway glass cleaner. But this is what's important. It's got the foaming action. I use the ammonia free, okay? So that's what I'll use. I'll spray it on, it's like a foam. I'll use that for the windshield because it makes it nice and clean and shiny. And it's like, I'm not, just so you guys know, like I I really don't go nuts over my motorcycles. They may look clean and super polished all the time, which they are, but that's because like I just do like a repeated cleaning maintenance on them, you know what I mean? So every time I come back, I just wipe it off. But I still may leave some spots, or like I don't go crazy over it. I just make sure that it's clean, it looks good. And if you stay on top of it, I think that's the most important. It's not how many times like you wash and stuff. I think it's if you stay on top of it, you come back from a ride. If you just went out 10 miles, there's no point. But I mean, every say 100, 200 miles, sometimes it's different. You could go on a 100-mile ride and go through a shitload of bugs. So I would do it. But you just keep an eye out on it, and that's how I do it. And then when we're, you know, if like when we go to Daytona, leaving here in March, and I get down to Daytona, the bike's filthy, I have it washed down there because I don't want like salt and grime and stuff on there. So it's really just keep on top of it and don't let it go too long. And the bike is always going to look good. It's that simple. It's like I don't use any special polishes, any special cleaners. I don't use any special waxes. There's no point. I don't know. The bike is meant to be ridden. I spray some of this on here and then I go over all the chrome. And I'll tell you, it seems this stuff, it cleans the chrome so nice. It takes off all the water spots. And that's what I like about it. It doesn't leave any like filmy. And yeah, and then I'll just go over everything with this spray and the bike comes out absolutely spotless. So like I said, I'm not gonna go over the whole bike with you guys, but I am gonna do it, but not in this video because you guys get the point. I really don't go too crazy. I will tell you one thing, I'm definitely not going to be using any kind of harsh chemicals on the carbon wheels. I got a bunch of questions from people asking me, why is there wheel weights on your carbon wheels? I'm going to tell you why. I am not sure without a doubt that the ride-on fluid will not react to the resin in the carbon, if you follow what I'm saying. So I don't want to put that ride-on fluid in it and possibly that chemical that's in the fluid reacting to the resin, weakening the resin in the carbon, and then destroying the wheels. Until I have concrete information, concrete definitive answers about that, I'm leaving the wheel weights on there, if that makes sense. I definitely don't want to F up a pair of $6,000 carbon wheels. So I have to do some research on that, maybe even reach out to the company and hopefully they'll help me out and guide me in the right direction. You know, so I have to see about that. So other than that, I use this spray on the gauges, on all the instrumentation, on the mirrors, obviously, on all the chrome, and the bike always looks clean. I just stay on top of it. That's the number one thing about keeping your motorcycle clean. Stay on top of it. Don't let shit get gunked up. I see a lot of people, they don't wash their bike for the entire riding season and it just forget about it. You know, stuff gets caked on, then it starts pitting, it starts staining. But you guys know I ride all year long in the rain, in the salt, in everything. And you guys could see my bike. People have seen my bike in person and literally said, holy cow, like how do you keep your bike so clean? You ride so much. That's just it. Just stay on top of it. I'm telling you guys. All right. Hopefully that helped. It's really simple. I don't try to make the washing process complicated because it is pain in the ass washing a bike. So I just try to simplify it every time I come back, clean it off. And if I come back from a long trip, it's definitely getting a good wash. And every now and then, even so, I'll still wash, like I'll still give it a really, really good wash several times a year. Okay, hopefully that helped. Definitely check out Let's Roll lift and cruiser dolly system. I'm telling you guys, you will not be disappointed. It's a fantastic product and American company, made in America, and that's how we roll. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.